Jason is the Assistant Operation Manager for the Greater New Haven Water Pollution Control Authority. He's a Class 4 operator and has 15 years experience in the wastewater field with 20 years of laboratory experience. He has a bachelor's in biochemistry from the University of Central Connecticut. So please give a warm welcome to Jason.
Thanks, Ted, and thanks, Jeff. If you guys don't know me, like I said, my name is Jason Nenninger. I am the chair of the Operations Challenge Committee for CTWIA, and this is my annual Ops Challenge review, a little bit of general information about Ops Challenge, and then I make my pitch for participation for 2025. So we'll just get right into it. So for anybody who is a little unfamiliar with Ops Challenge is a competition. It's called the Wastewater Olympics. Teams of 4 people compete in 5 different events. In a regional competition that happens, that NUIA sponsors, and that rotates around New England, usually in May. And then the top 3 teams from the regional competition get to represent the region, gets to represent NUIA in the national competition, which alternates between Chicago and New Orleans. The 4 people don't have to be from the same utility, typically teams from one state. Last few years, we've actually combined our forces with neighboring states because we didn't have enough people to run our own team, but it is our goal that we have 4 people from Connecticut this year. It's been a couple of years, so that's why I'm here. I'm going to make my pitch, and hopefully it goes well, and we get a little interest back that we maybe find another couple team members for this year. So the 5 events for Ops Challenge: process control, it's a written test. You sit down and you break out pens and paper calculators and you go through pounds, formula, things like that. A lot of stuff that you're going to see on certification exams, so that's a good way to practice for certification exams. We've had a lot of people that have been through Ops Challenge that have done really well when they get their higher level licenses. The second one is laboratory, so there's a lot of people that maybe work in operations or maintenance or something that they don't have exposure to the laboratory, but they're going to see laboratory stuff on their exam. So once again, it's really helpful to practice and see these things in an Ops Challenge setting, and you get a little bit of a lab background that might help you in one of your exams. The laboratory event this year has changed. It's a new Hawk event. There's a Hawk spectrophotometer, and you do some Hawk TNT work if you guys have any experience with the test and tube kits. Collection systems is the fastest event. It's usually the most exciting that people want to see. Some of the faster times are about 1.5 minutes, 80 seconds, 90 seconds. It's really, really fast-paced and exciting. You're replacing a section of broken PVC, as fast as you can. So that one's really cool. Safety is a confined space entry. There's a platform with a simulated manhole that you go down, make entry, rescue a dummy, and replace some valves. And the Vaughan maintenance event, we were actually pulling a running pump out of a simulated wet well, and you replace the impeller, put it back in, turn it back on. It's really cool. But up until that point, I had a lab background. I had never, worked on a pump before that point, so it was actually really, really valuable experience for me to be able to get some hands-on in this stuff. So right now, I'd like to recognize the 2024 team. Like I said, this was a joint team. This was RICON 2.0 from a couple years ago when we had the first RICON team. Kevin Morrison from Connecticut, and he's in Norwalk, Veolia. Graydon Stewart in Connecticut, which I believe is Simsbury. Kevin Venancio, which is the other half of the team, the Rhode Island side. Chris Cleveland from Rhode Island. And Sam Wood from New Hampshire was a late addition because Chris ended up having some conflicts for the national event. So we thank those guys. We're really proud of those guys. They were able to travel to New Orleans and represented our state and the region very well. So... So I keep track of this because it's kind of neat to see, but we've had a Connecticut team since 2016. We've had 18 different members from 8 different facilities, which is really cool, so we're really trying to get out there and really get everybody involved. We participated in 18 regional and national competitions in 8 different states now, so it's cool. You really get you get out there and you get to see a lot of things that maybe we would otherwise have the opportunity to go check out. So the 2024 team highlights, like I said, it was a joint team with Connecticut and Rhode Island, and we had the New Hampshire late edition. The joint teams have worked out pretty well because it makes sure that we have people that want to participate. Even though we don't have 4 people, we can still get them involved. So we were thankful to Rhode Island to be able to do that with them. But on the other side is that we really would like to have a Connecticut team. We've had some pretty good rivalries with some of the other states years past, so we'd like to keep that alive. It's more fun when you're really competing against the other states. They placed second overall in NUIA, and I believe that was 5 teams, so they did beat 3 other teams out. The only team they lost to was actually a Division I team, which is, really the highest level of competition for Ops Challenge, so they did really, really well at the regional event. They placed 19th overall in Division III. Division III is sort of it's a division for new teams. You have to have at least 3 brand new members. The first year at Nationals was really eye-opening for a lot of people. It's a little bit overwhelming, and nerves are involved, so we're still really proud of them, even though, next year the big leap is from year to 1 year too, so. We had 59 teams at WEFTEC this year. Last year was 55, so it keeps getting bigger. They're gonna actually have more equipment this year and more setups. They're expecting even more teams. Usually in years past that you'd have to place regionally to be able to get an invite to WEFTEC. I'm hearing now that they're gonna have it's going to be an open where teams who have the resources that want to pay their way to go to WEFTEC will be able to just attend and compete. So I'm thinking this number is probably going to jump up quite a bit for this year. So we could see 70 teams, which would be incredible. So that's pretty much the review on last year's team and what's been going on. So right now it's like the start of my pitch to get some more people involved. So what we really want to talk about is just the benefit that it's had to me personally, to everybody who's participated personally, the benefit on the utility side, and just some experience. We have a couple of people that are going to talk for a minute and share their experience and their thoughts on Ops Challenge and how it's helped them or how it's helped their utility with workforce development or career advancement. So we just had a couple of quotes up here, and actually the current president of NUIA was a Ops Challenge member back in 2007, which the newspaper article, I know it looks like it's from the 50s, but it really wasn't that long ago, it seems. But he was actually started as an operator, started an Ops Challenge, and now he's the NUIA president. So things have gone really well for him. And Jeff Sober is also a competitor back in the day, and he's now the chair of the WEF national competition. So right now I'd like to bring up Graydon and Gary. They're going to talk for a minute about their experience with Ops Challenge. Graydon was a competitor on last year's team. He's an operator in Simsbury. I'm pretty sure he was here, right? No? Graydon. All right, Graydon, if you can come up for a minute and just talk for us. He's going to talk for a sec about what his experience was like last year and how it's helped him in his career.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Graydon. As you heard, I work in the town of Simsbury, but I've worked for quite a few towns over the past couple of years, and luckily I've been able to get involved with CTW and meet Jason, who got me interested in Ops Challenge, and it's really helped my career evolve and move to different facilities and also improve myself. I know all of us operators here, all the operators here, we all specialize in different things, whether it's lab, normal operations work, or collections maintenance, and this event kind of pulls it all together. I'm really bad at process control and math, and this past year, with all the practice that Jason's helped me out with, and even some of the lab stuff, has really helped me get my Class 3 exam done, and also helped me work towards a bunch of my certifications, such as I'm working on my lab one, and also I just got my collection certification. And all I can say is thank you, because the Ops Challenge, it pushed me, it gave me a reason to do all of this, and it pushed me to be the best person I am. And I think if anyone wants to do it, it's a fun experience. CTW and NUIA, they help send you to the competitions, and all it is a little time and practice every couple weeks. So it's a fun time, you build a lot of camaraderie, and then you get to go see a cool place. I've never been to New Orleans before, but I can now say I have been to NOLA, and wow, biggest city I've ever been to is New Haven, so it was quite culture shock. But hey, I'm hoping, can't wait, hopefully we'll get a team this year together to go see Chicago, and thank you so much, Jason.
Thanks, Graydon. Thank you, Graydon. Okay, so that was, kind of the operator side of the Ops Challenge experience. So now we want to talk a little bit about the utilities perspective, about how this helps with workforce development. So I want to bring up Gary Zrelik. He's the Director of Operations at G&H WPCA, and he was a very early supporter of Operations Challenge for us at our utility. So our original team goes back to 2017. So I know we all look quite a bit young, even though it wasn't that long ago, we all look quite a bit younger, I feel like. So here's Gary.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, Jason had asked, you needed to fill some time, I think, like that, and kind of come talk about Ops Challenge. And, it's been years going on. We've been, we had a team originally from New Haven that kind of restarted it for the Connecticut one. I think everybody gets excited to have a Connecticut team, especially those who go there. And you've heard some of the benefits of it. Listen, there definitely are benefits. I can go through all the people that from New Haven that were on that team. They've all moved up into managerial roles. You've got Dan Wolf, you've got Chris Findley over here. I don't want to miss anybody, but the manager in collections now, manager of our IPP program. Jason's been up there. The exposure, that experience that you get, the networking, you see it all listed there. And what does that really mean? Well, what I think it really means, and I want to talk really more to the managers and supervisors, you need to get out there and actually push your guys. Look at the experience level, the educational level. That's really helped them become better at their plant when they come back into there. And it gives them the authority here. We're all talking about workforce development. We need to bring people into the industry. We need to, then we need to retain those people here. And, how do you do that? Well, I think one of the guiding principles in my life is you should be having fun, okay? And that goes through all parts of your life, and this includes work. Why do you want to stay at a place, and why do you want to do that there? It's because it's fun, And I think a lot of you guys, I see, wastewater people there are really a lot of fun to hang out with here. And when you go to, the conferences and you go to NUIA and all that, you'll see I don't know, I had fun there and I think it's good. So I don't want to highlight too much on that, but because I want to look to the managers who are going to push people, their operators to go and do this, and don't be the obstacle to it because of, they need some training, they need to have time away from, the facility there. That's a hindrance, that's a problem. You can usually overcome it there. And the benefits that you're going to reap later on in retention of these people and all that is really good. It's going to be the win-win analysis. You're out having fun, there. It's going to be a benefit to the authority. So even though there's maybe some cost up there of having to, fill some time slots and all that, believe me, the operators too. You see it here, everybody's kind of run through it here. It tends to be a little bit of a younger man's game on that end too. And then I've seen people that, have their families develop there, so it becomes more constraints on it. So it's hard enough for the operators to go and put their time in it and to not have the management, be a part of the hindrance to that. So that's kind of my message out there. And for the operators, you should really join. I'm glad Graydon gave a good synopsis of it. You get to see big cities and during good times like that. So it meets the criteria of fun, and it will be a win-win for the authorities, the municipal wastewater treatment facilities there, to have that experience there. You see, like I said, everybody there. The proof is in the pudding. Look at all our people there, and look at Graydon and that. Everybody, they move up. They know the industry. This is a big, big industry. And I think Jason really but when you go to the national conference there, they have 59 teams from all across the country competing. They did 19th and all that, so that's really impressive when you think about it going on there. And you get to see that, when there's 20,000 wastewater people there at those events there, it's pretty awe-inspiring on that, and you see the value of what we do. So my big plus of that is for the management, you should be pushing your operators into that and make it a successful program there. Because we want to have a good, strong team. We had it in the plant, and it's good because you get a lot of camaraderie there. It's tough to go through all the people here, so it's good to have a Connecticut team where people can come into there, and there's more of a pool to pick from, so we can have a strong team and move forward on that. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, Gary. Gary's also a great motivator. He did tell us on a few occasions we're all fired if we didn't win anything, so. Okay, so like he said, there's barriers to participation, so maybe we can clear some of that stuff up now. We get a lot of the same questions all the time about what the time commitment is, if there's any cost up front. So I threw together a FAQ. just to kind of maybe answer some of those up front in case anybody was wondering about joining or maybe taking this a step further and you just having some conversation maybe after the presentation or maybe hit me or Uday up through an email. Our emails are on the website. We sent out a flyer about a month ago, maybe another week ago too, that's got the same information on it with our contact information. So just to go through a couple of those really quick. Where's the regional event? When is the regional event? So the regional event is May 11th to 14th in Portland, Maine. When does the team practice? So this is kind of, it's really up to the team, and it's pretty flexible, and it's based on team availability, what they have going on at their utilities, how much time they can get to spend doing this. Really the bare minimum is you want to know the events enough to be able to just get through it, to get through the event, right? And obviously the more you practice it, the better you can get at events. So there's a difference between practicing enough to just be able to know the events, practicing enough to maybe be competitive. So it's going to depend on the team itself, and once that takes shape. Are there any out-of-pocket costs? We try or do our best, and we've been pretty successful over the years to try and limit out-of-pocket costs as much as we can. Travel expenses, hotels, a lot of the meals, we can get all that stuff covered. Obviously, the hotel is definitely covered through CTWIA or NUIA for the national event. So really, we're trying to limit the out-of-pocket costs as much as possible. We carpool where we can. We usually take advantage if there's vendor events and things like that. So minimal out-of-pocket costs for somebody to attend these things. Will I get paid for my time? So this is dependent on the person who is participating and their utility. In the past, we have had most practices during regular work hours, and the utilities have been generous enough to give this person the time to do it on the clock. I'm not saying that's the case for every utility, but it's definitely a benefit. It makes it easier on everybody if we can do it during regular work hours. So what do you win? Trophies. Respect of the rest of the wastewater community. There's no monetary trophies or anything like that, but the trophies are really cool, and it's really the amount of work you end up putting into this is, it's very satisfying when you get, something to show for it. Even just getting to the national level and competing is an accomplishment, so, it's really not about, the prizes and the trophies. It's really just about getting there, getting the experience, like Graydon said, it's very eye-opening. It's such a big field, the field itself, and just to take in all the scale of the national event is really just the takeaway here. So how do I learn the events? This is another one. I think people are a little apprehensive about it because there is a lot of individual steps in the overall events. So we usually have a couple of people from the previous year coming back, and what they do is they take a leadership role on for the new team, and they're able to show the new people how, each task and train them on each event, which makes it a lot easier. That lowers that learning curve. Because when we first started years ago, we had to learn all the events from scratch, and sit there and take the descriptions and just figure out who's going to do what. All that stuff's pretty much been established by the previous year's team, so it makes it a lot easier for that, that initial training. So that's it. Thanks to our sponsors. Like I said, thank you to NUIA, Fleet, Carlson, Veolia, and Arcadis. They've been very generous over the years with helping us with uniforms and practice pipe and you name it. So thanks, everybody. Thank you for your time. I do have a quick video to show. It's a few minutes long. WEF puts out these really cool, slick, highly produced videos from WEF Tech each year. So I think it was appropriate to show here because they can go through it and it can give you a sense of what the national event looks like. So hopefully we have sound, right, for the video? Okay. Yeah. Yes, training day. So if anybody's on the fence about maybe wanting to join or maybe just wanting to get a little more information or wanting to see firsthand what the events are or talk to some other people that are involved, March 21st, there's a training day event where all of the events will be set up, all the other states' teams will be there, and you could talk to myself or anybody else that's involved in Ops Challenge. Paul's very involved in Ops Challenge too, and just kind of feel everybody out, see if it's something you want to do. If it's at the Westboro facility in Massachusetts, so probably about an hour and a half from here, not too bad. So yeah, if you're on the fence about joining, we'd love to see you there. I think there's a tour also, so you'd get CEUs while you're there, I think, as well. So, yeah, see you there. So. Yeah, in September, Rhode Island is hosting a regional invitational event to help teams that have qualified for WEFTEC or any other teams that want to get some extra practice in Rhode Island this year in September. So, yeah, keep an eye out. I don't know if there's a date for that yet. September 11th and 12th. Okay, so that's part of their trade show, the Rhode Island Trade Show, right? So yeah, there's going to be another regional event in September, in case anybody's. But that's usually, hopefully, we have a team before then, and hopefully we've placed well enough to go to WEFTEC, and that would be another training opportunity for us. So that's that. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm gonna let the video play myself out here. Good. Okay. All right.
In the end, none of us are particularly awesome at any one thing, so it does make it a lot more team-oriented. We all kind of help each other out on everything.
This is who I want. I mean, aside from Superman and Batman, I mean, these are the guys.
It's a special breed of operator that wants to do this. Then it's even another group that can compete well enough to make it here.
We came up with 16 from New York. You know, we're all a family, and we all root each other on, and that's how it's supposed to be, along with all the other countries and states that are here.
We will root for our friends that we know and we practice with. We do want to beat them. We want to win. It's no joke. We're not even going to lie about that part. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the camaraderie.
The networking, the community, the skill development. It's a great program that we're fortunate to be involved with.
This is my first time. This is awesome.
All right, seems pretty cool, right? It's very exciting once you're there. So, yeah, if anybody's interested, please contact myself or Uday. If anybody knows anybody else at their plant that might be interested, put them in touch with me or Uday. I think it's a great opportunity for people, and it's a huge chance for career advancement and growth. So that's it. Thank you for your time.